Welcome to Story Ideas on the Fly, where we pull a random prompt from a hat and try to develop it into a story idea. The entire story is inside a video game. We have done kind of video game-ish things before.
Well, there are a lot of stories inside a video game, but
this one is the entire story is inside. So I don't think we're pulling someone in.
So we're not isekaiing someone in.
The whole thing is inside.
This is people actually playing a video game. The main challenge of this is this. How do you make a story have a strong conflict while having everything literally be a game?
You have cancer.
What?
Cancer.
Explain.
Okay, so this is something I thought of, like 3 years ago as an idea where I was going, hey, what if you had it so that the reason that this character has to be able to accomplish something is because his mom is fighting cancer or something, and he really needs to be able to get past this section of the game because no one has before, and the first person to do it will get some kind of monetary reward, which will be enough for him to save his mom.
Okay, but now we're getting into a player. This says
that's the entire story. He's saying he would be, because that's a real life person playing the game.
There would still be a real life person playing the game.
Okay, wait.
But...
Yeah,
so you're suggesting we should have an NPC be the main character?
I don't know.
No, I'm saying,
because if you want the entire thing to be in this game, the only real way to have that be the case is to have it so that the main character is an NPC.
No, there's another way to make it not be a video game and just completely and just have the entire thing. No, since this is a video game, you have to acknowledge that the real world.
Well, there is a real world and there are players, but this says the entire story. If we're sticking to this prompt, and granted, we can say it's not a good prompt, throw it out, but throw it out and change it some, take some liberties. But the entire story is inside a video game. If you have someone going into it in the beginning, that's not necessarily the entire story inside the game, because you got something from out. So I would like to see, is there a way?
I'd like all relevant plot things to happen inside the game.
And I'd like
so
to see
Shangri-La Frontier.
I would like to see all relevant players inside the game.
Yes.
Okay.
However, I do think they can, talk about the real world as long as they're chatting with each other inside the game about the real world. And I think a real world problem would be something, except there's not many real world problems that you can solve inside a video game.
Well, since it says the entire story takes place...
You can have someone who's a mom... But if you had a character come in and say, hey, I really need to clear this level because, so that I can afford...
I still feel like, though, that's not having the entire story in the video game. That's having an external story coming into the video game. So what if we had something like this video game, maybe we've got a video game where the programmer wasn't very good. And there were a lot of glitches. And there were a lot of holes. Could we exploit that, programmer? Where our characters... have times where they can move around where the person playing loses control of them and they actually can go about.
No.
Why not?
Because when you create a glitch in a game, it's not going to give the characters intelligence. What you're trying to do is create a world that's just a video game and ignore the real world. No, I'm saying... No, this is this is a video game. This is not a magic portal to another world.
This is a video game. Which means if we aren't allowed to have something where they're trying to do something to help someone in the real world, this is a challenge running story.
Yeah, no. Oh, I have an idea. So, what if there is... Okay, it might seem a little cliche, but basically, there is an evil AI that currently only exists in this world. But it is trying to get into the real world. Or, not into the real world, but, affect, real things, get into, traffic lights.
Mhm.
Oh, I like that idea. So you have an AI character, and because these characters in these video games are AI, they are learning and making decisions and maybe rewriting some of their programming. And now they're trying
It's
to
not
get
so much
out.
that the creators were no good, but that they were maybe a little too good.
Right. And now these
They got so into
if
it
you're a
that they added.
programmer trying to solve that, then honestly, the solution is delete the program.
Okay, but maybe they have put some safeguards in. They're rewriting, these AI characters are rewriting their own, the game itself, so that they're taking over this. The programmer can't get in. He's locked out.
Well,
And now they're trying to get through.
if you have if you have an AI that decides to take over or do something, outside of the game, it could think about this and go, hey, yeah, I don't want to, play my hand too quickly, too early on. So your AI could actually put some prize money, put some major, things down so that the company can't just say, oops, we're nixing the game, our bad, because they're going to lose a lot of money if they do. Like it could prepare for this in advance.
And now these AI characters are trying to get.
But then how do you solve this problem then?
Well, you have some heroes in the game who are also AI who have to work against them and find a way.
Here's the thing. That wouldn't work. For one simple reason.
Respawn.
Yeah. If this is inside the game, the only way to kill that AI would be to completely destroy the game.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a story inside the game. It would be a story about programmers trying to fight an AI from a game.
Yes, which also the way I see this prompt as being is literally the exact opposite of what you're trying to take it in.
Okay.
I see this prompt as saying, no, this is just guys playing a video game. There is no, the world is in danger. There is no, I see this as, how do you make a good story out of people playing a video game?
Shangri-La Frontier. That's your answer, Shangri-La Frontier.
I've never seen it.
I haven't.
I saw the first 12 episodes.
This would have been a good girls versus boys. We could have taken it our direction. They could have taken
Now this one would have been a good girls
would
versus
have been
boys.
a
Would have
really
been a
good
good
girls
one.
versus boys.
Oh, well.
Okay,
Because-
I'm gonna let you boys go because otherwise we're just gonna end up having like this massive argument.
Well, yeah, because you're going two completely
Fun to
different
watch.
directions in
Let's
this.
go your direction.
So the way
Alright.
I see this is if we're not having something where there's some kind of prize money that someone's trying to get to so that they can try to help someone in the real world, and this is fully in the game, then this is strictly just some guys who challenge themselves to do something like, there's this monster at the end of this, there's a secret monster that no one has ever successfully beaten because it's got either a really good AI that's figuring out all the tricks of the game, or it's just ridiculously powerful, or something. And they are challenging themselves to be the first ones to ever successfully beat this thing.
Okay, so
Alright.
the way I see this, going with that, the way I see this, we have a group of friends.
Mhm.
I don't know if they know each other in the real world, but they do know each other in game. They probably formed some kind of guild. Ooh, interesting question. Is this a MMO where everyone, is this a PvE or a PvP multiplayer game?
If we go with PvE, then this is probably going to basically be a political intrigue story set inside a
I like
game.
PvP.
I'm lost with all these little letters. Go ahead, boys.
PvP, player versus player.
Yeah.
In other words,
Yeah.
the people inside the game fight each
Okay.
other instead of fighting monsters.
Okay.
So actually, so what I like is you could have these people have things like. Now, my first thought is to have like one of these players be having a rough home life and having depression, and so he's playing this game as an escapism from his real life.
Yeah.
While another one is doing and basically you could have a bunch of these problems and have them work together to not only play the game but also talk with each other through their real life
I think if you're going to write it like this, I would probably say that the entire story takes place in the video game, but that there is a story
Right.
going on outside.
Yeah. No, that's literally.
and one of the characters is, trying to impress this girl by, getting really good at this level, and then he gets really bummed because he misses it, and gets killed in the first. Well, not killed because they can respawn, but
Yeah,
gets
you get
utterly
killed, and then you
defeated, or
respawn.
gets eliminated from this, competition in the game. And then
And
he
then-
ends up finding out that the girl actually prefers when he, spends time in the real world with her, so it all works out. Or
and then what you do is and then you have like one or two of them be challenge runners and stuff who are constantly putting the new restrictions on themselves for their games.
I am no longer allowed to use anything but Fireball.
Okay.
No, and then
you have the guy who's, trying to help pay for,
and then at the very end, one of the characters does have a problem where it's like they need to pay for medical bills or something for a family member, and so then, but when he says, yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do, one of them says, hold that thought, and signs them all up for the competition that's happening in a few days. It's like,
there you
wait,
go.
seriously, I'm not good at this game. Don't worry, I'm good enough. I'll carry you. And so then you could still actually have the drama curve of, hey, we have something big happening at the end
Yeah,
here.
we have things riding on this.
Who's our villain?
So
Well, if you have it so that the main final thing is a competition, then it would be a rival team who, by all logic, is just better than them.
Okay, I
Better
like that.
gear,
Okay.
better gameplay. Maybe have an auto clicker.
also, I think a lot of
Actually,
these.
maybe spend some money to get some additional,
Yeah,
oh
something
no,
with a
I
little
hate
more
those
budget.
guys.
Yes. Well, you're supposed to hate the villains. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And you'd also have minor villains with just like, hey, the school bully from one of the characters, like, okay, and it would be interesting because this would be a whole thing. You'd have to find ways to solve their problems without ever actually leaving the video game.
Yes.
It's like, hey, how do you help a guy get a girl when you only know him online while fighting monsters?
But maybe he meets a nice girl while playing the game and, convinces her to come join their team or something. I don't know. That
You
could be
could
a
have
very
a romance.
interesting
Actually,
story.
it does sound like it'd be hilarious to have it so his friends are constantly telling him, "You can do it. Come on, you can get her, and then eventually, the next time he logs in, oh, who's this with you? Oh, this is the girl I was telling you about. Oh, sweet. So is she a tank, healer, DPS, or what?
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
you could have a cute love story in there.
Yeah.
For some reason, I want her to be the tank.
All right.
I don't know
So,
why, I just
it
do.
sounds like we have a setting. We have a
Mhm.
group of heroes, a group of villains. We have a love interest. Anything else we
Have some
need?
plot. some
Personally,
ideas.
Okay.
I think if we all did this, we'd all do it so differently because I might actually go with something like, they think it's
It's
a video game, but it's
in a
actually
world.
controlling real people in a
Ooh.
real world.
I
Controlling
feel like
real
that
people,
kind of
that'd be
breaks the
interesting.
idea, though.
Well, I mean, it's kind of there's
I
lots of interpretations, so.
want to see these.
In
The thing I really
sci-fi,
want
it
to
could
see
happen.
is these best friends beating each other up constantly.
There
Hey,
you
time
go.
for PvP! Come on, let's fight!
Yeah. I'll play against you right now. Want to go?
Should we go get the Eskrima? They're
This could be a
padded. Anyway,
yeah.
padded
No, I think
martial
that
arts.
sounds-
Oh yeah, let's have the
So-
two tanks duke it out.
No, here's
Who
the
is
thing.
the
You
better
need
tank?
to grab practice weapons when you're fighting in a video
No,
game.
talking about you two right now.
I'm inside
Alright.
this video game. It's like,
Our you two brother. We should.
reason to fight Michael right now.
All right.
You get
Plus, I already know who's going to
No, we
win.
just-
So let us know what you think of the ideas, and tell us how you would do this story in the comments.
Yeah, we'd love more prompts for our hat too, and we'll see you next time.